Hello and welcome back to Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video as a train is leaving Sudbury Mainline Station. Sudbury Mainline Station, it's the only station in Sudbury. It is leaving Sudbury Central. That is probably a better name, even though it isn't quite at the centre. Also, there goes another train, which you can see on the left hand side of your screen. Last time out, I was building this slightly complicated, a little bit, just slightly complicated goods yard, and I've thought about things off camera and I've realised that I have a much better idea for part of this yard. So, in today's video, I'm going to be finishing this off, detailing it, but also changing a little bit of it. So make sure you stay tuned. Let's get started and let's see how complete I can make this particular goods yard look. Okay, so the plan here is that this bit is no longer going to be a goods yard. In fact, this is going to become a depot. Now, I'm not 100% certain how exactly I'm going to pull this off, but I am going to try. I also need to try and fix this little bit if I possibly can. But yes, I am going to try to make this some sort of depot that can function. It will probably not be able to serve Sudbury itself, not because it isn't possible for it to serve Sudbury, but because of the limitations of Transports Fever 2, and I have to take that into account. But we can assume that it would be able to serve Sudbury should the need arise. Of course, there is this little bit here with a yard, a train yard, which I could fill up, which would actually give this quite an in-depth look. In fact, it would look very detailed. It'd look very complete and very much like a terminus. In fact, it already does look very much like a terminus. In fact, a couple of things that I'm just going to do is I'm just going to potentially add in locations for more pictures, which I will go back and forth and take as time goes on. So I'll probably go back, get a picture of this without any of this built, and then go forward and get a picture of it. So get a picture of it now, once it's complete, and also in the past, because this does look quite good, in my opinion. Of course, you may not think that it looks very good, and that's perfectly all right. Right, let's get on with this. So, in order for me to do this, what I want to do is, first off, I want to drop this to a single track, because that gives me this option. Then I want to, for now, just put 10 mile per hour track in here, which runs parallel, and I need it to run parallel. Okay, it doesn't do that yet, and the reason for that is, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not sure how I did that. The reason for that is I need to configure this and switch off the terminal function. There we go. That way it should be able to... There we go. Now we can run parallel. Sort of. There we go. From there and then up to the end there. And do the exact same along here. Now what I can do is get rid of that goods yard and do that. Okay, so from here what I need to do is work out the depots. So I can just go ahead to the buildings and look at the depots and see what I have available to me. Now I'm thinking of using this one just because it sits fairly nicely as an engine shed, and I think I could get it to sit, just tuck in, sort of there. And it doesn't look entirely out of place, but it does, it does look a little odd with the road high above it, but I think I can do something with that. So, in order for me to be able to pull that off, what I need to do is be able to pull this up to about there, and then see if I can put the engine shed in. How much further? I can push it just a little bit further back. So this is where just a bit of measurement, a bit of trial and error will come in handy. That is probably where I want it. Actually, why do I want it there? I could put the engine shed right here. Yes, I can put the engine shed here. I've just had an even better idea. Why does the engine shed need to be all the way down here? I know what I can put here instead. Right, engine shed. You go... No. You go... There we go. You go... There. Hang on. You go there. Okay. Doesn't look too bad. Looks alright overall. And now what I need to do is just ensure that this bit is properly connected. Right, how close can I get this engine shed? Not that close. Okay. Kind of wanted to avoid that, what's happened there. So if I can give it... There we go, that is a little better. And as would be necessary for this, I'll do that, and see that bit is far from ideal. So can I somehow, can I do that and somehow manage to get this to smoothly, there we go. That is a little smoother. This isn't the best, but it is a little smoother. Good. Now, because this is all open, it's no longer a station, I can very easily get this to come right the way across into the middle, and then subsequently just do this using a fantastic three-way... Too much curvature? Really? Okay, fine. I can manage this. There we are. How does that work? Works perfectly all right. Okay. And then all I need to do is slip this one and slip this one. That one is all right. That all looks fine. There's a water tower over there. I should probably try and put some sort of coaling station here too. So I'll try that. Coal. Not a coal hop. No. Not a coaling tower like that. No, and not a coal platform. Hang on a minute. I mean, if I could somehow manage this and get a road just down to the bottom. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull it off, but that would be interesting. What kind of terrain are we looking at for this? It's fairly low. It's fairly low. Could I do it back here? I could do it back there or even over here. Could pop it in there. Gives me an idea of where the terrain... I'm not going to use the terrain alignment. It just gives me an idea of where it needs to be. Because what I can then do is put a street up just like that. Perhaps a little closer. This is going to work. I think that street is far too low. But this is definitely going to work. There we are. So a street goes up here, which effectively... I mean, there is an upside and a downside to this. The upside is... The upside is that I can have the coal how I want it to be. The downside to this is that if we have a look at this bit, it's kind of a steep drop. So to get to this engine yard, I suppose you'd have to be here and then walk along. Yes, you'd end up having to walk along this. Why is this so low? That isn't correct. I'm going to have to fix that too. It's alright at this position. For some reason over here, it's a little messy. I'm going to try and... Right, I'm going to try and do something else. I'm actually going to try and connect it up like this. That should be a touch better. Still all a little, just that little bit too downhill. Not entirely certain what to do here. I'll have to see. I will have to see. There we go. So that goes there, that goes there, that bit is all right. That's now a depot. That can go out. So the idea here is, if there were trains to go that wanted to go to Sudbury, what you would do is they would go along here, turn around here, go back in here through this bit, park up. I'll just have them park somewhere here, and then potentially come back up and join. But I haven't yet worked out how that join would go. Or they just back up all the way along here and turn around here and go up. That is the other option. So just trying to leave those options open. I am going to destroy this entire area and see if I can build it up with industry or something or other. So this is sorry, not a main road. This is a narrow road, which, I mean, at the moment, could it end up being a main road? I could make it a main road if I wanted to. I wasn't going to. No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. So that goes around there, and then I will... No, that wasn't right. I'll bring this out straight like... Well, that isn't right either. I'll do that. That looks reasonable. This needs to be potentially fixed a little. I'll just lift this up, this point up a bit, and that should sort that out. This bit is going to be interesting. That is going to end up being the main road. The question is should I just break all of this and turn that into a main road immediately? It could work. I think I probably should. Somebody left a comment saying, how have I not got bored of this or lost my motivation or something for this series? And the truth of the matter is that it is more of a case of this series must be completed to an adequate standard than actually me trying to continuously do this as a, oh look, I'm doing XYZ, it's all really interesting and whatnot. It's just this series has to be finished to a standard that I would deem acceptable, and that is exactly what I'm doing right now. So really, I don't think boredom is coming into it. That isn't really crossing my mind right now. So this goes all the way like this, which then opens up the opportunity of, well, that cannot or should not be a main road, but I can build this like that, and then this being the rail depot, that gives me additional options, because if this is the goods yard, Sudbury Cargo, how far does this reach? Up to here. Okay. Up to this particular area where perhaps I will have enough room to put that wherever it is. Gaswork. No, not enough room. Okay. So there is going to have to be some sort of delivery. I could do that coal delivery thing that I've done. I could potentially do that coal delivery thing the way I've done it in I'll show. Let me go and demonstrate this one. Not in Stratford. Is it down here? Not in Batley. Not in Croydon. Is it in Downham Market? No, it's Ollerton, isn't it, that I've done it in? Yes. This system. So, I place one of these, and then a conveyor, and another one of these inside the gasworks, and that gives me, so you've got the coal being transported across once it obviously is active. So I'm probably going to do the same. I'm going to pull off the same trick. Let's do the same trick twice, shall we? I know I try not to repeat things everywhere, but I think that trick could work rather well. And if I were to put it here, I could take it right the way across into here and have, okay, so this is all very important, getting all of this done, because obviously this is all part of the way this has to be set up. Now, small problem is terrain is not exactly flat in this area, so I need to take that into consideration. I could build, okay, this is what I could do this. I could build one like this that does not, so it stays up at this level, and then we have the lower level a bit further down, and I just have to figure out how to get those bits all the way across, which might be interesting. Okay, before I even do any of that, I need to do buildings. Conveyor. It's cargo, right? Cargo. I'm on cargo. Hey? Ultimate station. I forgot that I had this. I should have been looking at what this station could do. I need to have a quick look just to see what is available on this station. So all the tracks, it's the geometry that I'm more interested in. How does that work? Because if this is able to bend things. Oh, but what can it bend? It cannot bend. It can only bend certain types, and unless they are the type that I want, Maybe in the future that might be something a little bit more like it, but we'll come back to that. Okay, stop being distracted, focus on what is required. Road buildings, that is why I couldn't find it. There it is. Conveyor belt station. It needs to be 3 levels up over here, and even then it is cutting it rather close. So it would be, no, stop it. Maybe I should pause the game whilst I do this. It needs to be, what's this? LL. I need to check this away from here. LL. Okay, so that's the size. Good. That could work. Angle. That's up and down. Okay. Oh yes, of course, I see the alpha. I said angle R, angle L. Yep, fine. Length. I can bring that down. Depot. Yes, it needs to be. Even tells me here actually. Alpha, up, down. That gives me everything that needs to be used. Right. So the idea is, I build it way up here. That is the idea. I cannot see why this would cause so many issues. Because I could say that this is... No, stop it. There we go. Let's just say, for example... Oh, it's... okay, I need to make this smaller. I understand some of the problems. Yes, I could do this. I can work around the bridge pillar collisions, to be honest. Will that pick this up? It does. I can very much work around the bridge pillar collisions here. Because that's the cargo stop. That would be a way to get coal transported. How high does that leave this? A fair amount. Okay, break that. Go to streets. Let's see if I can create a basic road that is flat the entire way. Or at least flat for a portion. Like that. Then I create one of these that sits very nicely right. Oh, come on. Sits very nicely right there. I then delete that road. No, not that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Not a problem. Right. Does that have connection to anything? Not really. Not yet. Not yet. And break this, and from here we go down. In fact, we could just follow the railway down and join it up. Oh, I said I was going to fix that bit, so maybe not follow the railway down, maybe just peel off like so. And there we go. Okay. That does not look too bad. That does not look too bad whatsoever. Then what I need to do, and this is where the difficult bit is going to come in, I could always move this, which I think I might. I might just move it right up to the end. I need to be able to place one of these in here. No depot needed. But straight in the... right into the centre? No. Off on this side, I think, is probably the best option. So let's place it right there. Why do you have car parking space? That never used to be a thing. Oh, is that the bigger cargo? I do not recall this being a thing. Is that... maybe that's the bigger cargo waiting area. Oh, is that what has been causing me problems the whole time? It is. Right, that is what has been causing me issues. Great. Should have used my brain to figure that out. There we go. Doesn't quite look the same, but still. Now for this one, I think we could go down to... oh, apparently it doesn't let me change things. I think for this one we need to be level 2. There we go. Okay. Now, with this one, I now know what the issue was. So I can try to build this level 3 without the larger cargo area. Turn it around and see if I can... no, stop it. Stop it. See if I can figure this out. So, I could place this like so. Not that. Is it that? Not that. That should stop it from doing its awkward connection to the road. Where do I want it? About there. That works about right. So where is that? Okay, I see it. Roughly... oh, I need to push it further along. So roughly... there, I would say. See how that looks. Connects. In, yep, that is all right. I know it does look a little odd because, well, how are you supposed to get the coal up there? But we're going to have to leave some things, unfortunately, to the imagination. Yes, that is going to be, unfortunately, the case. Conveyors. Now all I've got to do is try and connect these two with minimum bridge heights. And see how that... why are you being awkward about this? Come on. There's nothing to be... absolutely nothing to be awkward about. No. Well, that explains that bit. And... okay. I'll figure this out in a minute. That bit is broken. That's alright. I'll figure that out too. Build anyway. Uh-oh. It's managed it. Okay. Next, what I need to do is that to that. Smooth it out. Do not bother checking for any collision and limits. Just do it. Oh. Doesn't seem happy about it. It's struggling. It's managed it. It is struggling though. Okay. That does not look too bad. Maybe I should have had this at level 3, but it's a little higher up than that. Maybe it should have been 2.5. I have no idea. For this, I'm going to break that and then attempt to rebuild. No? No, you do not want that? Okay, that's fine. I'll just do this. Careful. Go too far, you'll clobber yourself on a you're going to clobber yourself on a steel pole. This bit is fine, that is fine, that is fine, that is fine. It's just this one that was here, which I'm now going to just build up to that point there, which is all right. I'm sure I can do something here. I can put a little building or something there. And now, if we do this, wait, do you not connect to this? Oh, why is this doing this now? Suddenly, I am confused. It's probably a street. I need to put a street in here. Invisible streets. This is going to be interesting. Ah, yes, okay. There might be something I need to do here, but I'm just going to build it anyway. Suddenly it's working. Okay, so it is not close enough to the front for me to be able to do this, but with that street in place, I can figure something out. Then I need to put the gasometer in, which, should we put a large one in here? It's going to be for a whole city. Could this be the first large gasometer? No. I'm still going to stick with the medium-sized one. I can put the gasometer down here if I really want to. In this corner or back here. Place it there. I think that is the best option. But before I do that, terrain tools, some smoothing is required. There we go. Otherwise, this is all going to look really quite messy. There we are. Okay, good. Make that stronger. Good. Now I can put the gasometer in, which I'll sort out the colour and the like for a little later. That goes there. Buildings can go there. That is looking reasonable. You configure for town, dark, town, sidewalk, town old will do. Station ground, none. I'll sort it out and paint it myself. Station border, none, because this is the entire station area. Signage, no, because it brings in those signs. Food path connection, I think it's supposed to be footpath connections, but that's fine. Okay, that will do. Good. Next, painting. Just to start giving this area the sort of final colours that it should have. So ballast all along here. This also gives me an idea of what needs to then be smoothed out or anything along those lines. I should probably do that and that. That will be better. Okay. Yep, this entire section is ballast. I'm sure I can probably put something else there. This bit up to here is ballast. That gets painted. That bit there gets painted. And I'll paint behind here and around that up to there. Good. That looks a little better. That is all working out. In fact, I'm considering painting... Oh, that bit needs to be sorted out. I'm considering painting all of this as ballast. That bit should be all right. I guess I can put something there. That should be okay. Okay, next bit, smoothing of this area. I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to try. It's harder to smooth these. Just to try and hide. There we go, it's starting to hide that. There we are. That looks just a touch better. Okay. I think that is reasonable. Smooth along here because there are some issues now, as you can see. So I'm just going to try and ease up some of those. For example, this area. Just try to... It's not very easy to do when the smoothing tool doesn't work the way you want it to. That's okay. There we go. We are starting to get somewhere. I could move these down here because this is now the depot and its subsequent area. So I could, for example, move that water tower down to this side, which would perhaps make a little bit more sense now. So actually, I am going to do that. Get rid of these. Smooth this out just a little bit more. There we are. Paint. Good. So that is now smoothed out. Go down there. Nothing really to see here, but on this side, right here, we can most certainly have a... Nope, I can spell. I honestly can spell. There we go. Where? Where should I put it? Next to the coaling? I think next to the coaling tower seems like a smart place to put it. Pop a water tower in there. There we go. That seems better. There's another water tower here. In fact, it might be a good idea for me to put a water tower in here as well. How would that... Sure, because we could get a train here to pump water in there and that... Okay, fine. It's not exactly the most realistic of things, but it might do something. It'll give me some idea of what is going on. That looks better, that looks better. I can smooth this out just a touch. Good. Okay. So far, so good here. Next up, let's try and put some track in. At the moment, speeds do not matter, so trains will be coming in through here might be coming in and out, but do I need to double track all of it? Probably not. The tunnel is already double tracked. You'll be coming in through there, depending on, I suppose that's depending on where you're going. So I'll do that, and that is a 40 mile per hour track there. That goes across there. This bit can... What? Are you not... Do you not want to come across? Which bit is... What is that? Because it clearly... There we go. For some reason, that did not want to do what it used to. That's okay. 40. Okay, good. That bit's completed. The next bit that I wanted to do was try and get the road through this area. So I did want to put this road in. Not sure how I'm going to do that just yet, but let's go ahead and put... This is going to be a main road? I think so. No idea why the road is doing what it has done, but actually I do know why it's doing that, but it's alright. It isn't too bad. Now, I want this road to go straight through. Oh. Well, all right then. That has worked surprisingly well. This is not perfect. I'm going to have to do something about that, but the rest of it has just worked. I was not expecting that. What if... Right, hang on. What if I broke this and said the road comes in... Right, so let's try that again. What if I broke this and said the road comes in from there? How would that respond? Straight road, please. It's still causing the same issues. How do I get this to not do what it's doing? By having the road do that. Okay. What sort of angle can I manage here? The best angle I can get, I will try and do. So if I did that, and then did that, and then did that, there we go. It isn't quite where it used to be. So it isn't the straight path there, although I could perhaps just make a little path that in that area. Which might be, I think that might look fairly reasonable if I put a path there. But it does give me a little bit more realism. This bit is still this is still messy. I have to figure that out. Perhaps I could make this small section here. Okay, hang on. This could all go wrong in a few seconds, but I'm going to try it anyway. Break that. Do that. That cleans things up a little. Not a lot, but a little. It's a bit odd as well, the way this dips down and this bit does not. And yeah, there are a few limitations. Let's call them limitations of Transport Fever 2 that I am now running into as things get really quite advanced. Okay, all of this is looking much better now. Fairly realistic. What I now need to do is populate some of these. I'm just thinking I could have this as an open... I could put one of those in here somewhere as well. Over here? How many... What does this need? 4. 4 tracks. Could I put it here? No. I'm just going to leave it up there where it currently is, and that can remain. Remained. Now what I'm going to do is place some of these. Trains that are actually not even running at this point in time. So I'll place one there. Oh, I do have an idea. I have an idea that I'm not going to pull off just yet, but I will in time. Yes, I will try and pull this off in time. 46, 47, no, none of those. It's just not the one that I want to do yet. This is going to cause chaos and grief because I have so many assets for locomotives. I should have just gone to train only. That would have helped. My computer's probably going to start complaining. Autosave is going to happen any second now. That autosave could destroy everything. Not multiple units. That's what... Oh no, I've done it again. That's multiple unit. This is all vehicles. This is... Yeah. I was trying to figure out what was just a train. I think this is not worth it. I will just get assets the other way. Those ones perhaps. Yes, this is not worth, because I've got to try and go through all of these and try and find the right one. 1949, 1948. I'm still doing this. 1948, 1945, 1940. Oh, will it just be at the bottom? 1850. Okay, they might just be around here somewhere. Let's look at something early 1900s. Here we go, around this area. What does that look like? Yes, we could have one that isn't part of this Great Western style. Just park a couple like that. A double one sitting there. So we've just got a few engines sitting around, and then I should not have. Right, a top tip: if you have an asset that takes a long time to load, whatever processing it's doing in the background, before you leave the assets menu, ensure that you have selected on something else. That will save you this hassle of I've just pressed a button and now I am waiting. Just make sure you do that. I could pop this in somewhere. Why not? That is not where I wanted to pop it in. That is what I wanted. Is this a valid locomotive for the era? Possibly. We haven't reached 1929 yet. Okay, so we've got a few locomotives sitting around. I now am going to start placing, as I said, loads of carriages, and the idea here is it's a depot. So I'm going to try and put a full train. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, because it curves around, it's going to end up like that, but it does not matter because what I can do is pop in. I hope that this is the right way. How am I supposed to know which way this goes? Hopefully it is fine. Is that correct? Yes, that looks correct. I mean, that's a rake. That's definitely a rake. Maybe I can put a couple of these in here. How many have I put on that? How big is that rake actually? That's a good question. I suppose an easy way for me to tell is to get rid of that bit and just approximate it from there. 155. Okay, that's perfect. See, that's absolutely fine for me. I can put another one of those bumped up, so ready to go. These are perhaps what will become the new express trains, or something like that. Ready to go. So that there are two just parked up. Now it's starting to look like a depot. Over here, I'll leave the third one. In fact, on the third one, I'll put some wagons. No, let's put some of the older coaches. How do I find the older? Okay, no, I'm at the wagons area, so I'm just going to put some wagons in because I'm here right now. So I might as well just here put some of these, and then perhaps a few of these in. Just that realism is going to start. All of this is going to start taking shape. That's important, I think. There we are. That goes there. And let's put a few of these in here. Sure, we've got some of the other companies also available because it's all standardized or whatever. We can put some private ones in as well. Where's that purple one? There it is. Oh, actually, I'd like to put a Buxton one up. There we go. That goes there, and under here I should probably put one of these, since this is the coaling area. I'm assuming this is Buxton coal. That one comes all the way from Southampton, it's fine. And that one is from Bristol. And then can I place some slightly different ones like that? CR, Central Railway. Possibly. Let's put some other stuff. No, that will do. Yes, that will do nicely. And for this, just back here, I guess I could place, because it doesn't really matter, but I can just leave some of these brake wagons sitting back here. They're not connected to anything. They're just there, ready to be connected to bits. That looks pretty reasonable overall. Yep, that is starting to look like, or not starting to look like, it does look like a pretty substantial depot. Right. Walls, potentially, in this area. I mean, this area, wall here and across here might be reasonable, or a fence. A wall through this area, and maybe along the back of this could do the trick. Yes, let's try and place some walls and see what we have available to us. So I think I've placed these ones before. That colour might just do the trick, but I'm trying to find a colour that matches all of these just a little bit better. Maybe this one. No, far from it. Certainly not that. It is decent. It isn't perfect, but it is decent. That one is completely wrong. That one is completely wrong. That one really does not match either. That is a terrible kind of wall. I think that is the wall that I want, so that is the wall I shall have. Okay, so the wall is going to go, it's going to be along this. So I'll push it all the way along. Can I curve it around this decently enough? Yes, I can. And then a straight line up to... There goes the autosave. That's telling me it is almost time to end this episode. And just in time, because I do think that this yard, this new goods yard, is just about complete. Of course, it will not be active for a little while. The next thing I need to do is the marshalling yard, but I think the goods yard is nearly complete. Another 10 minutes or so, and we should be in theory all right. Come on, autosave. Anytime now. Chop chop, there we go. Alright, so that goes there, and then this curve is a little more difficult, so the way I would do this is probably just with walls like that, and it can stop there. Stops there and restarts there and just goes straight along to there where it stops. Then once again restarts. Does it need to? I suppose it does, because this would be a public road, right? Yes, it would be. So it goes along there. And I'm going to have to do some fancy stopping, try to prevent buildings from spawning in this area, because Transport Fever really loves to spawn buildings in the most inopportune areas. I know the post box is a bit covered and it looks a bit naff, but unfortunately, unless I find a different, which I might be able to, unless I find a different road, this is going to be like this. And what I could do is just take this all the way around, which I think would really look the part. This is a properly walled off area, this is. There we go. All the way down. Yes, I think this looks pretty good overall. Let me know, of course, what you think by leaving your comments in the comments boxes. I do read them, even if I do not respond to all of them. I do try to read every single one and address as many as I possibly can. Unfortunately, time constraints lead me to sometimes not being able to do that. What I should have done is maybe made a custom model out of a few of these buildings and made my own smaller gasworks, which is effectively what I believe JK did with that one right there. Might ask him, but I'll see if I get a chance. I'm not that active on the modding scene, though I do know some of the modders. Do I want it to be all the way down? Probably not. What I want to do is, at this point, I bring it alongside. Now, I could very well leave this open. I'm half debating leaving it open. In fact, I am going to leave it open. Erase very carefully. Very, very carefully. This is where these things do tend to be slightly problematic when it comes to erasing of things. Also, when it comes to the game not realizing what I'm trying to do. No, I just want there's that one. I just want a pillar. That's all I want. No. Just a pillar. That's it. Oh, you just select finish from the start. There we go. That looks okay. That also tells me that I need to paint this area here with ballast, which is also fairly easy. There we go. Things are looking decent. I need to potentially do the same along here. Okay. Same wall, but this time going up. Well, it'd help if I did line. Right, let's try this again. Same wall. This time going up here. Now the question here is where do I bring this wall up to? I think I know. I could easily have made a third episode out of this detailing, but I'd rather not. I'd rather just try and get it done in the next couple of minutes and work with it from there. There are so many things that still need to be done. There, if I do that, and then at this point go this way, That could work. There we are. Looks okay. And then just this bit over here. Yep, this is all looking pretty good. And I think at that point, unless I've forgotten anything, I know I need to put the speed limits and change those, but I will do that when I activate the yard. That is when I'll put the speed limit signs in. Or I might do it off camera, I don't know. But for now, this is where I'm going to end this particular video. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to click on the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series. Leave a comment in the comments box below. Let me know what you think, any suggestions you might have. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. Link in the description box below, as are links to my social media and Discord server. I think that that is looking pretty good overall. So from this angle, it's not bad. Let's go ahead and fast forward, or not fast forward, but start taking all the various different pictures. But that is all from me, and I shall see you next time. This one's a bit rubbish, there's nothing really to show there. This one has a lot to show. That is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series, where I will be I'll move away from this, and I'll do something slightly different, which is probably a goods yard in a different town. There are a few things, of course, left to go. So, yes, I'll make sure I save that for Sudbury. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I shall see you next time. Off camera, I'll go ahead and probably build up some of these areas. But yes, I'll see you next time in Transports Fever 2, the UK modded series, where that's done, that is done, that is done. Which ones are left to go? Stratford, Chagford, Shepshire. That's 3, 4, 5. Maryport. Is it really just 5? Do I really only have 5 goods yards left to build? I think that might be the case. And then whatever I'm going to do with Shepton Mallets. I think I only have 5 goods yards. No, not 5 goods yards. That's a lie. Barnstaple, 6. I have 6 goods yards left to build. That is not too bad, if I do say so myself. So that is all from me, and I shall see you next time in Transports Fever 2 to build some of those remaining goods yards. Once all 6 are complete, this one could do with some detailing. Once all 6 are complete, I'm going to start moving forward in time a little. Oh, and a marshalling yard. I'll start moving forward in time. I'll start building these up, which I've already obviously begun. And yes, after that, it's just a matter of rivers, more roads. So I just need to fix up the rivers, more roads, and just getting the trains running, improving the services and whatnot. So yes, make sure you stay tuned for all of that. I'll see you then.